The National Urban League has released its 2022 report of the state of Black America. The report, titled Under Siege, The Plot to Destroy Democracy, shows the social and economic status of Black Americans, how they feel about social justice issues, and it revealed the various tactics that make it harder for Black people to vote. Mark Morial, the CEO and president of the National Urban League, is here to break it all down for us. Mark, thank you for joining us. Can we start with voting? What did the report find when it comes to voting rights and democracy?
Well, thank you for having me, Diane. It found that there's been a long, decades-plus effort to really make it more difficult for people to vote, with particular focus on Black people, Latinos, Indigenous Americans, and others. And this began in the aftermath of the Obama election with efforts to challenge the integrity of the Voting Rights Act through the courts. And that effort has been successful. There have been a number of very troubling Supreme Court decisions that have narrowed the role and the range and the applicability of the Voting Rights Act to protect against voter suppression, gerrymandering, and vote dilution. It has also included a political effort at state legislatures across the nation. Pre-2016, there were hundreds of bills introduced to make it more difficult for people to vote, to impose voter ID, to close polling places, to authorize voter purges. In 2016, you saw Vladimir Putin enter the battle with a cyber campaign to undermine and discourage Black people from voting by posing his Russian bots as Black Lives Matter activists. And then there was January 6th, the insurrection, the attempted coup, the violence on the peaceful transfer of power. In the aftermath of that, you've had hundreds of bills introduced all across the nation. Some of them are absurd, that you cannot give water to someone standing in line. But many of them have been substantive. They have as their intent to make it more difficult for people to vote.
And Mark, in the report, the year's Equality Index showed that Black people only get 73.9% of the so-called American pie that white people enjoy. What does that pie entail, and why do you think that number comes through that way?
Diane, what this index shows is that these differentials are almost in suspended animation. They remain almost fixed, with Black people functioning almost as a caboose. So sometimes conditions improve, but then conditions for white Americans improve, and the differential remains the same. This is one of the most important dynamics of American life, this gap, and it runs the gamut. It's in health, it's in education, it's in jobs, and it also impacts Latinos. We don't have the Latino numbers, but they index very closely to where African Americans are. And for a nation to become a multicultural democracy in the 21st century, these gaps must be closed so that every human being can fully participate in the American dream. That's what this is about.
So, Mark, when you looked at these results, what in the report stood out to you the most?
I think what stood out when we really looked at the results, Diane, is the nature of this campaign to undermine democracy, how extensive it is, how far-ranging it is, how consistent it's been, and how so much of it has gone on sort of behind the veil. You see the results, but you don't see the money and the people and the organizational effort behind it. And it is pernicious because right now we as a nation are trying to support and sustain democracy in Ukraine. Well, we have to do it here at home. We have to protect the right to vote here at home as well as in Ukraine. And so this principle, this American value of democracy, is what this report seeks to lift up.
Mark, when you look at these numbers, what does progress look like? What is the ultimate goal? And what do you think it takes to achieve it?
You know, Diane, the goal is parity. I think the goal is an America where there are no meaningful differentials based on race, creed, color, religion, or zip code. That should be our goal. Economic parity, quality of life parity. That should be the ultimate goal for all of us.
Mark Morial, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.